How to form an LLC in Delaware. You form an LLC in Delaware by filing a certificate of formation with the Division of Corporations of Delaware. The fee is $110 to file it. You also need to register your name and get a general business license to be fully compliant in the state of Delaware to start your business. Depending on the field that you're working in, you may require additional licenses or permits, depending on what you do. And it may come from a municipality or a licensing agency or a county, which falls under municipality, but city, town, counties, there are multiple forms of municipalities is what I'm getting at. But ultimately, forming an LLC in Delaware is very straightforward. It's so straightforward that as easy as it is to fill out in some respects, that appearance also creates a gap where, things fall through the cracks, the smallest things like spelling errors, because people aren't paying attention to the details, or for a lack of knowledge and not knowing that you are required to have a registered agent, a physical Delaware address in the state of Delaware in order to form an LLC here. So whether or not you live in another state, when you're filling out their certificate of formation, you need a registered agent who can provide a physical address here in the state of Delaware. It can be your address, but it has to be a physical address here, not a P.O. box, not a mailbox. It has to be a physical address here for the purposes of receiving suits and mails and tax notices and things like that. So that has to be registered and placed on your certificate of formation with the Delaware Secretary of State for that reason. Okay. And in that case, there are plenty of options for that here. There are plenty of options for that nationally. Minimal fees. I've seen registered agents with fees of $49 for an annual service, which is basically mail forwarding. Basically, it's just mail forwarding if you're just going to a typical registered agent. That's all they're really doing is mail forwarding if they do it well. Okay, they're not really doing anything else. Okay, unless they provide other similar services that I provide, like amendments, changes, and additional legal document searches and things like that, which I also do. But in those places, if we're keeping it 100, which we're always going to do here, especially in the state of the world right now, before now, these industries were always a high turnaround industry, okay? They have a revolving door when it comes to skilled employees, okay? And it's for a multitude of reasons. And one of them is for the lack of care for the employee and for the client's business. They center profit over efficiency and relationship building. And that is what I value, okay? And what I choose to press forward in my own services. So I have actually written a quick step-by-step guide to help those who are interested in forming an LLC in Delaware, right? And if you can't afford to purchase my package or that of another third party, which I would not suggest, get it from me. Okay, and so if you can't get it from me, if you can't afford what I offer on my website, it's very moderate for the pricing that I've seen out there. I made sure to do my market research and to price it very moderately so that it is not underpriced or overpriced. But if you can't afford that, and it's right on my website, if you can't afford that, I have written a quick 13-page, not counting the back cover, okay? 13-page quick step-by-step guide with all of the data, important data and reasons why people do choose Delaware, in addition to the step-by-step guide on what to do to fill that out and all the things that are required to form an LLC in Delaware within compliance. Okay, because it's not just filing the certificate of formation. It's not just getting an EIN number. Okay, there are other steps required for licensing and trade names and things of that nature, if required, that have to be registered with the state for tax purposes as well. So that information I have written in a small guide. And you can purchase that right off of my website. It is only $12. Okay, I charge $1 a page for for each page I had to work on. Okay, which is more than fair, right? Right? And trust me, my guides have been used at top Fortune 500 companies for training purposes for other tasks. And that's why I decided to make one for this purpose. Not only for you, but also for me as a point of reference when I move forward and bring on employees and train them to serve you as well as I want to. I only perform comprehensive LLC formations. That means I'm going to assure that every requisite step required for complete compliance in the state of Delaware when you start your LLC are met and addressed. Okay? If I'm not in a position to assure that, for instance, it will include, yes, the filing of your certificate of formation and ensuring that you have the appropriate registered agent information and proper spelling and make sure that your business name, I will perform a business name search to ensure that the name is sufficient and available and reserve that properly, right? Register that properly and also help obtain the general business license that will be required in addition to your formation. You will have to get a general business license or specified business license if you do not fall under the general business license, which covers a multitude of things. Through the state of Delaware. The general business license is $62.25. Again, certificate of formation filing fee is $110. And then I will also take the steps to get you an EIN number for your entity, which you will need if you are hiring. It will be required if you're hiring employees within the first 12 months. It's not required otherwise, but I am going to recommend that everyone get an EIN, whether or not it's required, because it is essential for banking purposes and to separate your business assets from your personal assets. So I will always recommend and always assure that an EIN is registered and generated for your entity. Now, what I want to stress there and what I've seen in my research is that there are third-party companies out here that are charging. Let's start there. They're charging to get your EIN. Okay, I get that part. $300 just to get the EIN only? No. Okay, guys, first and foremost, you can get an EIN online from irs.gov for free. If you are computer savvy, you can jump online and get it yourself with your business information and get it online for free. So even if you don't do your whole package comprehensive formation with me, if you want an EIN and you're trying to do this yourself, you can get it online for free. All of this information is in my step-by-step how to form an LLC in Delaware guide that's available on my website right now for $12. That is at www.tiffanywilliamsjd.com. Now, in addition to that EIN, one of the last steps is, depending on the work that you're going to be doing, is determining if you need any additional permits, licensing, things of that nature, okay, in order to move forward. For instance, if you're doing a daycare, you're going to need additional licensing for that. Okay, if you're opening a restaurant, you're going to need additional licensing for that. If you're doing a hair salon, you're going to need additional, you understand? So just assuring that you have all your ducks in a row. Now, there are some aspects of this process that I won't be in a position to assure that it is completed. But you see, every single thing that I can, I will. And what I can't, I will assure that I address and make you aware so you can take those action steps where need be. Okay, with full instruction and direction, which will be minimal at best. And quite frankly, it would only come in those instances of additional licensing and permits that I would not be able to assist you with. And I would only find that out from first trying. Okay? Because as I stated in the beginning, I'm only performing comprehensive formations always. Okay? It's essential to me to not just make a profit, but to do profitable work for my clients. Are you interested in forming a business in Delaware? Are you curious why so many companies choose to incorporate in Delaware? I have written a brief step-by-step how to form an LLC in Delaware guide, and it is available on my website right now. Purchase it today. It is easy to read, flows pretty well to me, okay? I like it. I think you'll love it. Check it out.